Okay, so this is Scott Holland from Shoreline, Calvary, and I wanted to just let me just show you. I wanted to just do a quick training video of how to do the soundboard, and this is just like level 101 basics of how things work. So we're going to start with looking at one channel. So you see all of these different channels here, and these are called buses over here. It's very overwhelming, but if you break it down to one channel, then we can focus in on like how to control that one channel, and then we just apply the same thing over and over again. So let me just click on this button here. There's actually 32 channels, even though there's only 16 represented here at a time, but I can switch between them from 1 to 16 and 17 to 32. So I'm going to switch, and you see all the faders moved because the channel numbers here switched from, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if I go back here, you'll notice that the channels are now, it's hard to see on here, but 17, 18, 19. So this is 17 through 32. And if I go back to 1 through 16, now it's 1 to 16. Okay, so we can just switch back and forth like that. Now let's just focus in on one channel, and I'm going to use a channel that isn't being used today in the service, just so that we can focus on that. I'm trying to remember where it is. Here we go. Andy voice. You can see right here that it's channel 15, and it says A. That means that the input is also coming from 15 on the stage. So if you go into the stage, there's these boxes and you can plug into different channels. So this wire that's plugged into 15 on the stage is coming here. Now, if we look at some of these other channels, like the guitar 1 says A20, that means even though we're on channel 13, you can see at the top here, 13, the A20 is saying it's actually plugged into the channel 20 on the stage. So we can digitally like rewire which input goes to which channel. So I've clicked on this select button at the top, and this is going to select this channel for any of the settings that I'm going to do, which are all up here on these various dials and in this main display. And I'll show you how we switch between things. So right now it's showing the equalizer. So this is like the bass, the mid, the treble, and how we are like pulling out some of the frequencies because they were causing some maybe some bad sounds, some sounds that just don't sound right. And the way we get to that is we press on the view button here. So this is the equalizer, and since we press this view button, it controls what goes on this screen. If I press any of these other view buttons, it changes what we see on the screen, right? So the main ones that we use are the ones over in this left quadrant. So this one is kind of like the overall settings for the channel. And this is where we start, actually, in the upper left corner. You'll see this is the gain. Think of the gain as the amount of sensitivity for that line or that mic. If you think about a microphone, if I turn this gain way up, this is actually pretty high already. It can go that much higher, right? So it's set at like 9 o'clock position, and it can go to about, 3 o'clock position, and it can go to about 5 o'clock. That's like the hotness of the mic. If I turn it too high, it'll start squealing because it's got so much input coming in that it will overwhelm that channel and cause feedback. So the way that we know how to adjust this gain button is when this person is singing or that instrument is playing, we come over to the channel. This was channel 15 that we're looking at, and these lights will bounce as they're singing, right? And so if you see green, green, orange, orange, that's good if it's going green, green, orange, green, green, orange, green, green, orange, orange every once in a while when they are a little louder. That's a good setting. If it's just one green light, then it's too low. If it's hitting a red light, then it's too high. And if it hits this clipping light, that one's always red, then we know that we have to turn the gain down. There's too much input coming in. So that's kind of like our first level of volume control, and it's like a very wide setting. And then once we have that set, that's where these faders come into play. And this is more of a fine-grained volume control. Once we have the gain set right with these lights, then we control how much input is going to go into the mix, and then we can start blending things with these. And we want them all to be like, you know, kind of close to this 0 mark, ideally. But sometimes we pull it down a little bit, sometimes we go up a little bit, depending on, you know, how strong that voice is overall compared to the other instruments and voices that we're trying to mix. So that's the overview of like the very first setting that we do is the gain, and then we do the fader. I'll do another video for the next settings.